On January 31st, 2017, Genius conducted an interview with X while he was in jail. Let me break it down. This interview was conducted on a phone call, as you can see in this video right here, as X was still in jail, but he was on the rise. People are starting to learn who X was, and they're getting excited about his character. So Genius had to make an interview to understand who X was and who was the person behind the figure XXXTentacion. The interview begins with a cough as X picks up the phone.
Yeah.
Hey, what's up, X? It's Cal from Genius.
In a bunch of X's older songs, he always begins by coughing. Coughing was his tribute to show that this song is going to be amazing. Even if he unconsciously did this, every single song where X coughs is amazing. Now, when the interview begins, X mentioned that he considers himself an artist. We know that he would later broadcast this in question mark when he'd be extremely versatile, making Jamaican music, making screaming music, making melodic vibes. The way that he's able to just make any type of music would show his true versatility. He says he looks up to Kendrick Lamar, Young Thug, Joey Badass, Lil Uzi Vert, a bunch of people in the industry who are around his type of music. But the biggest thing is that he considers himself an artist, and he considers himself different from everybody else, as he mentions throughout the clip.
I like to consider myself an artist. I do alternative rock, like a melancholy indie, all the way down to an old school boom bap rap, like Kendrick Lamar, Joey Badass rap, all the way down to a new age rap like Young Thug and Lil Uzi. You know?
The Genius interviewer asks him, how is it like to blow up while you're in jail? And X says he hasn't really felt what it was like.
As far as knowing how much my name is buzzing, I haven't exactly gotten a feeling as to how really big I am. It's still kind of unreal. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like once I get out, I feel like that's when it's going to get hectic and that's when it's going to get crazy.
In the 76 jail calls that was leaked, there are remnants of X freaking out over the fact that he's blowing up, such as in this clip right here.
Yo, my Instagram probably blowing up your phone right now, ain't it? Yeah. Yo, viral. Yo, I'll talk to you. Oh man, when I get out, I'm gonna wreak havoc on everybody's children. Oh man. Oh, we're so ready. The fame is gonna be so crazy because I'm gonna go so nuts.
You can just hear that X is extremely excited about the fact that he's blowing up and that it's actually coming into fruition. About how his dreams are coming into fruition and everything that he's wanted in his life is manifesting. When something like this happens, it's monumental to you because it's like all those doubters who doubted you are now made quiet a bit. They look at you in a different type of light. They congratulate you. They look both ways at you. X was coming out of jail too, real soon. So this move up to the top is perfect for the game. The Genius interview asks him who he wants to work with in the industry, where he says something extremely different.
As of right now, I want to work with The Fray. I want to work with Kings of Leon and probably Lord.
The Fray, Kings of Leon, and Lord are extremely different from his emo music that he was making, the screaming music that he was making. But as we know, X would in the end collab with different artists, such as Blink-182, on his posthumous album, where a similar vibe was given off. And he killed the part. He destroyed the part. We know that X had this in him. He had the versatility in him to do amazing in those type of songs. Even though we look back and we're like, oh, that's crazy to want to make a song with The Fray, Lord, you're not like that, buddy. But he was like that. We downgraded because we feel some type of way about it. We feel some type of way that he can't really do it, but he did do it, and he showed us he could do it. He also mentions that he wants to be the greatest artist.
How I can be the greatest artist there is, and that's my whole goal in the very end. To surpass every artist there ever was, to conceptually fuck all of them.
Now, it's a little bit different the way that he says it. He sets a direction for himself. That's the one thing I'd like to point out here, that X has a direction for himself. He says, I want to be the greatest artist. By him saying that, he sets a direction. He knows which way he wants to go. So when he wakes up, he knows what thoughts have to play in his head in order to be the greatest artist. What kind of thoughts play in my head if I want to be the greatest artist? What kind of thoughts play in my head if I want to make versatile music? What kind of thoughts play in my head if I want people to listen to my music and if I want to stay on my grind and focus on that? People say stay on the grind, but it's you have to know the direction that you're working towards in order to stay on that proper grind. People just outplay it in some type of way. You have to know the direction you want to go in order to go in that direction. I know it sounds pretty simple, but just relay those thoughts in your head. If you want to do something, relay thoughts in your head that will get you towards such a thing. Similar to what X did. X also mentions that he doesn't want to sign to a label. He would sign to Empire Records where he would make money and still have the independence to make his own type of music in his career, which really helped him in order to reach all the states that he wanted to reach. Even though his life was cut short, we know the music he would have made if he was free would have been exceptional, with the allowance for his own music style included in his music. He also mentions he knew he would be out of jail. He wants to get an attorney to step up for him because he knew that in this state there wasn't enough evidence in order to convict him of what they said he did.
And I'm trying to get a team of attorneys on my case to really like push the issue, like, yo, this guy has something going on with his life. He can't be in here wasting time. And if they proceed with this case and they proceed with this, I'm going to sue the state. And
X also said something very interesting within the Genius interview. He mentions they're already saying I'm the most controversial artist of 2017, but nobody's seen half of it. I finally have everything in my hands. So now you're going to see who's the greatest artist in the century. I'm not talking about the biggest artist in the city or my country. I'm going for the biggest artist in the world. Here he's talking about someone who's motivational and who wants to be a generational figure for a lot of people in the future. He wants to be an artist that is actually heard from fans. He wants to put out music that resonates with people. Similar to what I said about direction, replay that part. I'll also play the exact clip for you so you can hear how he says it. The way he mentions himself. Analyze how he does that.
now you're going to see who really is the greatest artist of the century and of this generation. And I'm going to make sure I claim that. And I'm not talking about best artist in my city. I'm not talking about best artist of just this country. I'm talking about best artist in the world. That's what I'm going for. I'm going for best artist and best conceptual artist in the world.
I'm telling you that we have the power in our own selves to reach similar states, not for the peak of hip-hop, but in our own states of life. We can accomplish anything we want in life. And by observing people who have done it, like X, we can reach these states. I promise you we can reach these states. We are all the same type of people. We all have dreams, we all have hopes. We all wake up in the morning, we all brush our teeth. We all live similar lives, but the difference between the top and the people who are not at the top is the way that they choose to handle their inner beliefs and their inner thoughts and their actions. Think about how you think about what you do and what sets you different from all these people. Because I'm telling you, we can all achieve the same thing with enough due time, with enough effort, and with enough belief in ourselves. Now, we do know that X would drop some music when he released from jail, and he mentioned that he was going to drop a full-length album called 17, and he did end up doing that. He also wanted to drop a mixtape called I Need Jesus, but he never dropped that. And a new mixtape called Members Only Volume 3. He would drop Members Only Volume 3, and that is still on his Spotify. And even a horror movie sample-based experimental tape called Horror Junkie. This was not dropped. I'm unsure what exactly this is referring to. If somebody knows what this is, please let me know in the comments below, because I'd love to learn. I read all the comments, I read everything you guys say, and I respond to you guys too. So let me know what this actually means, because it's a little bit confusing to me at least. But obviously X would incorporate his own spin on it. As he said, I like to tease people. So when I get out, I'm probably just going to drop one of them. He also mentioned that he received a ton of interest from major labels, but he says he's only going to use them for distributing purposes. The way that X thinks about marketing is insane. There's a video out there where X talks about teasing and the power of teasing. And I'd like for you guys to watch that as well, for you guys that are interested. He breaks it down so nicely on how to market something with the usage of teasing. Now, I know this isn't an economics course, but watch this clip right here.
You see this girl on the street. This girl gives you the attention that you crave. This girl fucks with you time to time. This girl kisses you, touches you, but never fucks you. Never gives you head, never gives you what you're craving, you know? You're gonna endlessly chase her. You're either gonna get frustrated and be like, oh, fuck that bitch, and da-da-da, or you're gonna endlessly chase her because you're never gonna get what you want. And if you never get what you want, you're always gonna crave it. In the bottom of your mind, whenever the opportunity presents itself, you're gonna chase it. So my thing is, like, if you have too much fucking ice cream, you're not gonna want any more ice cream. If you have too much of me, you're not gonna want too much of me. You have too much of ski, you're not gonna want too much of this. So too much of anything is a horrible thing. None of nothing. Like, if you don't supply and there's a heavy demand, when you drop anything or you give out, it's gonna skyrocket. So anybody that wants to be smart, zero supply, well, one supply, probably like 10,000 demand.
The way that X explains it is insane. The way that you can tease something by giving a little bit for an extreme amount of demand. I know that's a very simple economics term, and I know I learned that in school as well. But just actually applying it and seeing the actual representation of it is where it actually is. We talk so much, but when we actually do something like that, you actually see the power of it. And I'm unsure if X would have ever been on Genius to do a real interview. He was extremely controversial. We saw the Spotify stuff where they're going to take him off the platform due to his allegations. We saw how people just turned on him when they heard some bad stuff about him, even though we saw the change that was occurring within him. But even this little part that we did get in 2017 is insane to see. Then we have another interview of X where he breaks down his thoughts, the way that he thinks, and the music that's coming, and where he wanted to go. What we can take from this is where we want to go and apply his knowledge and his teachings into our own lives, as I've tried to do throughout this video. And if you guys are interested in how I break down these things, I make a bunch of these on this channel. And I have some about Kanye West, I have some about Billie Eilish. You can watch the Kanye one right here, you can watch the Billie Eilish one right here. I break down the connection between the two rappers and the two artists. And I also provide you some life tips. So I really highly recommend for you to check them out. It means a lot to me if you do. And as always, I love you and take care.